St. David's Center is on the forefront of the research and analysis on how best to diagnose and intervene in developmental issues. Diagnosis and early intervention is easily the most cost-effective way of helping kids get back on track or get on the best track that each of them can get on. We're thrilled and should be thrilled to have such a gem in our community.
For 30 years, I have watched this place embrace inclusion and form lasting bonds and relationships so that we could meet community need for serving children and their families.
St. David's is amazing. Everybody works together here. They know our child. We walk in the door, everybody knows Felix.
What's Felix like? He's a goofy kid. He really is. He likes to have fun. He likes to laugh. He likes to play. He just likes to be a kid. He likes to be a 5-year-old. We first learned that Felix might have some issues while Gina was pregnant. After he was born, we discovered that he contracted CMV and that it can cause some developmental issues.
At about 2 weeks, we did notice that he had a lot of eating difficulties, acid reflux, just throwing up everything, couldn't keep anything down. Eating was very painful for him.
It was a tough first year for him and for us. The hardest thing for me was not knowing how to help him, and that's why we reached out and turned to St. David's Center services to at least give us some idea of what we should be doing. So we had feeding therapy here at St. David's Center for 6 or 8 months. In the meantime, though, we learned at about age 3 that he had lost a significant amount of hearing in his left ear. So he was fitted with a hearing aid.
He wasn't able to filter out the noise, and then his body would just react, and his first go-to would be to push, bite, hit other kids because it was too much for him.
St. David's Center is unique because there really isn't another place where someone like Felix can be successful in a typical education classroom.
Immediately what we did for Felix was to identify where his strengths were and where his deficits were, and where he was going to need the most support.
We knew right away that his deaf and hard of hearing teacher in the school district wanted us to use an FM system. They called it the magic microphone, his FM system, and that gave Felix auditory access to what his teachers were saying, but also what his peers were saying.
All the kids got to use the magic microphone. The teacher allowed them to do that so that Felix could hear what they were saying. Really made a connection for Felix and the kids and helped everybody understand. You know, St. David's they took control of the situation.
One of the big things that helped him was with Katie Patton and his speech therapy.
Felix definitely has to work harder at being involved with friends, as well as being a part of the relationships with his siblings, due to the fact that, you know, he does have that hearing impairment and it takes a little longer for him to process information.
He was calmer, he made friends in class.
I think that's when we knew that this was the right place to be.
We need him to feel better in his skin and feel more comfortable in his body, so that then, his ability to be in a preschool setting, to interact with peers, to be a brother to his older and younger brother. So all those things become easier for him. With Felix, the work that I do with him, you just see it in his face. When he has that aha moment, when he starts to internalize and realize that he's making changes. And, in the OT world, we kind of call that kid power. Felix is a great example of that. He really shows me that smile and that sparkle. Part of my job is, to help parents figure out how to connect with their child.
I feel like he has blossomed as a little kid. We know who he is. Before St. David's, it was so hard to connect with Felix, and now we feel like we have such a great relationship with him.
The combination of everything, being in Miss Karen's class, having Katie Patton come into his classroom to play alongside him, being in feeding therapy, being in OT, it all kind of clicks in place.
They just helped with everything, with his whole development. That's my advice, is just come here no matter what. Any questions?
Right.
Because every kid deserves a chance.
There's a bright light in the sky tonight.